Sex talk is a high-risk, high-reward territory I wish more and more couples explored. Welcome to The Vibrant Couple. My name is Valdo Lallemand. I'm a relationship coach. My purpose is to liberate love through connection and playfulness. Before looking at solutions, I would love to talk about why we do not talk or talk enough about sex. I would love to start with interviewing a few random strangers to ask for their opinion. So I set up my camera and my tripod on Hollywood Boulevard and was very curious about who would be showing up. Interesting, Queen Elizabeth. Her Majesty, what do you think about couples talking about sex? Her answer was very interesting. One does not talk about such things. Next person was also a British citizen, so I was somehow curious of his answer. Cut! This indeed confirms my suspicions. There is very little guidance on how to talk about sex. Actually, this goes further. Most of what of us have been told about sex and how to talk about sex is wrong. Most of the conversations are comparative or competitive and consequently fuel our shame, making our desires and our bodies wrong and inadequate. In absence of good sex ed, porn becomes the primary source of education for too many and at younger and younger ages. Second, there is a very strong belief that sex should be spontaneous. Next came Jordan Peterson. I asked him with anticipation, Mr. Peterson, what do you think about couples talking about sex? Many of the couples I talk to want to keep their sex life spontaneous. I asked them, how is that working for you? Empowered by his words, I was wishing that the next stranger could somehow highlight me about spontaneity. Oh, Tom Hanks and, yes, Robin Williams. Robin Williams told Tom Hanks, you know, I want to let you in on a little secret. There is a lot of planning behind my spontaneous playfulness. Just imagine if you and your partner did not talk about where you want to go on your next exciting vacation and you went to the same place year after year after year. As a result, most couple sex lives dwindles over time. It is strangely easier to have sex than to talk about sex. We have conditioning that includes a lot of taboo and gets particularly activated during sex conversations. As a result, many of us keep having the same sex in order to avoid the embarrassment of having to talk about it. But who am I seeing? Denzel and Oprah. Oprah, I'm interviewing a few random strangers about the importance of talking about sex as a couple. What do you think? But why is it so difficult to talk about sex? I agree with you, Oprah. For many couples, sex talks are a minefield. Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow and Brené Brown. Hi, Gwyneth. I love your show on Netflix, Sex, Love and Goop. Thanks for the courage to expose yourself to do that show. Brené, what do you think about the need for couples to have sex talks? Talking about sex is one of the most shame-laden situations. And it is an underrated opportunity to show up vulnerably and with courage to improve your couple. On the extreme, some couples have a lot of trauma and sexual trauma, and whatever is about sex is going to trigger them. Many couples do not fall into that extreme. However, too many have the experience that, we tried and it didn't work. His Holiness, what do you think about talking about sex as a couple? There is a lot of sexual trauma and conditioning in this world. Practice loving kindness and compassion for yourself and your partner. So, what am I learning so far? Okay, sex talks are mission critical. We need to have sex talks in order to improve our sex life. as our sex life is really important to the happiness of a couple. Second, we need to talk about sex without boyish humor. Third, we need to be vulnerable with each other. Fourth, we must have compassion for ourselves and for our partner. You know, I have the sense that there is something incomplete in my list. Thankfully, Jordan Peterson came back and said, I forgot something very important. You cannot improve what you do not talk about. Bolster your courage and talk about sex with your partner. Be willing to fail miserably 20, 50, even 100 times, as many times as it takes to change the narrative. Thanks, Dr. Peterson. So in addition to consider talking about sex as mission critical, doing so with maturity, vulnerability, and compassion, we need to develop the courage and the fortitude to engage in mutually beneficial and uplifting sex conversations. So, how does this apply to flirting with your wife? Or, if you're the feminine partner, how to invite your partner to flirt more with you? First, you take the lead. Be willing to develop the courage and the fortitude to fail miserably the first 20, 50, or 100 times. I want to bring a couple considerations here. The first one is that both men and women want to be desired sexually. However, men and women want something different. Women want to be loved. Men want to know if they are good in bed. Knowing this can be really helpful because instead of getting upset like many couples do because they have different needs, they can help each other getting both needs met. Second consideration that I don't think men fully understand. Women talk a lot more about sex than men think. And when they do, of course typically with their girlfriends, they talk about it way more descriptive and graphic details that men can ever imagine. And so if the first 20, 50, or even 100 attempts fail miserably, it is more likely that because you have sexual hang-ups, she has sexual hang-ups, and you as a couple have sexual hang-ups, and that one of her jobs is to surface them and bring them onto the table. I invite you to learn to appreciate that feminine quality. And so here, appreciation and liking are different things. For example, I appreciate going to the dentist, but I definitely do not like it. If you're the feminine partner and wonder why he somehow never gets your invitation to work on your couple problems, maybe there are ways that you could express those hang-ups in a way that would be easier for him. For example, same as you, men respond well to appreciation. Whether you're lucky and your first sex talk goes well, or you fail miserably the first 100 times, keep going. Courage and fortitude. It is your masculine job in your couple to declare and enforce that sex is mission critical. Second, you create the times and places for sex talks. One of the likely feminine pushbacks is about spontaneity and the fact that she is one more item that you have to schedule. That is her point of view, and although very valid because she wants to be loved and she wants to somehow feel above all your other tasks, from your masculine point of view, when you schedule something, you give it value, you give it importance. Here, this is not about who wins, because either both of you win or both of you lose. Both of you winning means that she feels loved and you schedule it. In bed, it is wonderful to learn to express one's appreciation in real time. However, debriefing sex to learn to improve it, especially when there is a request you have to make of your partner of something that is not working for you, must happen outside of bed. it is really good to have some sex talks side by side. For example, walking in a beautiful park or in a beautiful forest, holding hands together and looking together at the future, envisioning what your sex life could be. Start with moderate and positive expectations. For example, you may, maybe after a drink or two, say, hey darling, I would love to have a short conversation about one thing that each of us would love to experience in bed together. So that was for the moderate part. For the positive, just see the difference between, hey darling, you have bad breath, compared to, hey darling, how about Sunday mornings, we wake up, we go brush our teeth, and we explore each other like we used to. And last but not least, thank each other and appreciate each other for having shown the courage and the vulnerability of showing up for a sex talk. If this video inspired you to liberate more love in your couple or to find a partner with whom you'll be able to have better sex talks and of course a better sex life, please hit the like button below and subscribe so you can be notified when I publish new juicy content. And please share with all you believe would benefit. I look forward to seeing you very soon.